Hey everybody, how's it going? This is going to be an emotional video and I'm gonna try not to cry because although I've been apart from my daughters for 15 years plus, I have dreams about them. And that's when I reconnect with them. And after I wake up, it is very heartbreaking because I know my time with them has been limited. I think I have to warn people, when your children walk away and you have these dreams, you wake up and you're kind of wrecked. So you need to take a day and just recover and recuperate. When they appear and you're sleeping, the dream ends and you wake up and you say, please God, let me fall back to sleep so I can just have a little bit more time, so I can embrace my daughter again, so I can tell her how much I love her, and most important, that she still loves me too. And so last night I had a dream. Now, my oldest daughter is, I believe she's married, but she, from what I know, doesn't have children. My youngest has 4 and is married, and yet I have not met any of my grandchildren. And so in my dream, I was in a park, and my oldest daughter had a baby who was 2. I was being allowed to meet him for the first time. And so he was toddling around. And I just remember picking him up and holding him. And I was just so grateful for the first time I was allowed to be a grandma. And I just kind of walked with him and held him, and it was such a celebration. I was so happy. And so I just remember getting that time with my grandchild and my daughters, and how excited I was to finally hold a child my daughter had created. And I think the hardest thing about not being able to have a relationship with your grandchildren is when you have your own daughters and they grow up and they say, oh, I can't wait to have a baby, or someday I'm going to be a mommy. And one day, you all talk about how eventually, you'll be able to be a grandma and this and that. And how excited you are that one day, when your children leave your nest, and um, you plan on eventually being a part of their lives. And all the ultrasounds, and the heartbeat, and you finally can sit back and relax, and you see your daughter growing, getting bigger, and now she's, so many centimeters, that she goes into labor and delivery, and you're going to get that call in the middle of the night. And so it's kind of ingrained that this one day you'll be blessed in that arena. And when it doesn't happen, it is one of those situations that is tough, because everyone around you, their kids get married and they're grandma for the first time, and they're taking pictures of them and their new grandson or their new granddaughter, or they were in the labor and delivery room, or they're babysitting, or they're celebrating grandparents' day at school when they start kindergarten. And you have not had that opportunity. Boy, I'll tell you, it is a tough pill to swallow. It's like a bottle of pills, not just one. And there comes a point in time when you eventually become immune to it, or just numb to it. Because when you first see a grandparent embrace their grandchildren after you've been denied, it's tough. But after a while, you come back and you say it is what it is. You have these dreams, and then you have to pick yourself up and move on. So I just want to say I know fair is not a word that's in the Bible, and I know life in general is not either. But I just want to say that I know it's tough. And to all you grandmas out there, I want to send out a virtual hug. And I want to just say I ask God to keep his loving arms wrapped around you, because I understand what you're going through. And that's just the way it is. So, anyways, I hope and pray each one of us survives this, and you find a reason to get up and continue living. And that's all there is to it. I'll be back.